And now, let's take a look at the script supervisor's notes, the camera reports, and the sound reports. On set, the camera department should keep an inventory of what they're filming. That is called a camera report. The important thing to note are some of the details of it. Scene 52 takes 1, 2, and 3. It says the camera roll up here. This is the roll of film, roll number A55. So it tells you the roll of film that this is. And on this roll of film is gray, which is a gray scale or gray chart that the camera department puts in front. That helps the laboratory know what the color should look like and the density, the contrast based on the gray. And then it tells you what scenes are shot on this roll. It looks like there's only 3 takes. It's a scene 52 and takes 1, 2, and 3. And also here, it's also very hard to see, but there's also little notes about what footage and how long the pieces are. And then some additional remarks, which I can't even read. I think it has to do with the lens that they used. But there's information, the most important being what the camera roll is and what takes are on that roll. This is all metadata, or what will become metadata. This will accompany, or a copy of this report will accompany the footage, whether it be film or digital, will accompany the footage to the laboratory, or facility that is processing it. This lab and facility will process the footage and send it out to the people, distribute it to the people who need it. That means they may upload it to a secure server so that the producers can look at the film, but they'll also prepare it in the format that I've asked for, so I get it in the editing room. A lot of people get it. It isn't just me in the editing room. The producers have to get it in a format that they can look at it, usually uploaded so they can look at it on their laptop. But I don't want it on my laptop. I needed my format that I just described to you guys so that I can edit with it. Well, all along, this information needs to be carried through those steps in the process. You know, late in the game, Damien Chazelle might say, you know what, I need to add a new shot, a visual effects shot to the movie. Let's choose this shot. Okay, we've chosen this shot. Okay, and then I have to tell my visual effects supervisor and editor and visual effects producer, okay, Damien wants to use here's a new shot. We recut the sequence, here's a new visual effects shot. You guys need to know about it. You need to create it, basically. And so they say, okay, fine, I see what you're trying to do. Good, okay. What shot is that? Okay, where does it come from? All right, it comes from, what's the camera roll? A55, it's take 2. Okay, so we'll pull that piece of film out of the archive. We'll pull it, and we'll take that original piece of film and now have it scanned so artists can start working on it, et cetera, et cetera. So this information is something you have to be able to. It has to stay with the footage, stay with the frames all the way through the end of the process. So with the film every day, your assistant should get copies of the camera report to tell you it gives you an inventory of what you're looking at. So the camera department gives you a camera report. The guy, the person, the man or woman who records the sound on set will do a sound report. The sound report has information to tell you what sound roll it is, whether it's a digital sound roll or a physical sound roll. It tells you on this sound roll, it tells you what the time code is. It tells you what the reference level of it is. It tells you the movie, the sample rate, all this very technical stuff, but it's still important. It's important to know, to keep track of the file type. But you can see here, if I look at the sound report, it gives me an inventory of what is on there. Scene 106 takes 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives me some notes on it. Rain, truck, NG. NG means no good. So this tells me, for this take 106A, take 1, and maybe some of these other takes, it sounds like maybe the sound wasn't good because it was raining. It also tells me, the sound mixer has told me how many tracks he's recorded and what I can find on each track. This over here is track 5 is a character named Bert. That's that character's sound, that character's microphone. This tells me that they use several microphones for different actors. This says Bobby and Mike. This says another character. This track 2 says boom, meaning this was recorded not with a lavalier like what I'm wearing, but with a boom microphone. That's important to know. That's certainly important for me to know, but also important for our sound department to know, because a boom sounds very different from a lavalier mic. And then this says mix. That is a track that the production mixer has mixed himself. It's a rough mix, but you know, the production mixer has taken all of these microphones and doing it live, he has mixed together the track in a way that he thinks sounds good. In other words, he's able to do this live, and it actually is something. It's a combination of a rough combination of all these different microphones. Whereas these microphones are meant to be isolated, clean, and so I can't just edit the scene with just this one microphone because it's only this one guy. So when I get all the audio tracks, by the way, I try to always edit with this, but that's just for my rough cuts. Later on, the sound department will go back and mix and match whatever they think sounds best. They'll go to these isolated microphones. I like to get all of the material that was shot or recorded. I like to have it at our fingertips. So that means that I like to have all the different microphones. It doesn't mean I'm going to use them right away, but I like to be able to access them. The circle take is basically considered the director's best take. The one that the director says, let's circle that one. That one's good. And so in the old days, what used to happen is, because you were trying to save time, people were trying to save money, you would only print or send the circle takes to editing. And that's what you'd work with. Well, it's important to remember, circle takes, it's what the director wants. It's never what, oh, the sound mixer is recording, and the sound mixer says, oh, I like this take, I'm going to circle it. That's not what it is. It's what the director says is circled or good. We still have circle takes, but we get everything. When you're editing, you may find that there are pieces or elements of a take that everyone thought was bad, but maybe you can use the picture, or maybe you can use the sound. So it's all fair game. It's all potentially usable. When I'm cutting picture, I want to focus on pictures. So even though I want these at my fingertips, I don't like to have to decide if I'm going to use this microphone or that microphone every time I make a picture edit. That's why I like having this mix track, which is a rough combination of all of them. You can't be on set usually because you're too busy editing the movie. So the script supervisor's job is to work with the director and the camera department and sound, and the script supervisor gives you your inventory of what was shot. They give you notes that not only tells you how many takes there were, but it tells you what takes were the director's preferred takes. It tells you if there's any editing notes that the director has. And I always try to communicate, before they start shooting, I always try to communicate with the script supervisor, and I say, okay, well, you're going to be my eyes and ears. I will not always be able to text or email or speak with the director. I try, but the director is so busy that that may not be possible. So it's important that the script supervisor record any comments that the director says on set, or if the director says, okay, we're going to do this shot, and then I think what's probably going to happen later on is we're going to do this shot, and then we're going to cut to this angle right here. That's when we cut to the wide shot. Anything that might be helpful for me to hear, that might be editing instructions, those things need to be recorded. They need to be recorded by someone, and that's the script supervisor. Those notes need to get to me. So I'm not editing if there's something the director hates. We may use something that the director didn't like. We may do that, but we may get to that. But we'll probably get to that later. You don't want to come out of the gate and have something start off with something that the director didn't like or doesn't want. My assistants print out the script of the movie. I put it in a binder, and I have it I have it on my desk. I have it right next to what I'm editing so that I can refer to it. You want to have it close like this. I like to have it out all the time on a stand. I don't want to have it on a shelf where I have to get up and open it up. You want to have things easily accessible. So I have it next to me all the time. Every day when the footage comes in, they replace my clean script pages with pages from the script supervisor. It will start looking like this. So each line represents a camera angle. So this says 44, and WS means wide shot. And the line, it basically goes down to tell you what action or dialogue that angle is covering. So I can look at my script and I can I can get a feel for exactly what was shot. How many angles were there? How many lines are on there? How many lines will tell me how many angles there are? And also whether a line of dialogue is covered. So this is basically not only an inventory, but it's a roadmap in a way of what was shot. So these lines, these straight lines tell me that that if I want to look for this dialogue, I can look in this angle, I can look in this angle, I can look in this angle, I can look in this angle. I can't look in this angle because these squiggly lines is the script supervisor's way of telling me that even though the take continues up here and goes through here, this dialogue is not on camera, it's off screen somewhere. That's what this squiggly line means, this funny line, compared with the straight one. So the important thing just to know is that through this line script, I have a pretty detailed idea of what my coverage is of this action and this dialogue. So every day my assistants will replace my clean pages with the line script. The script supervisor has on set communicated with the camera department and with the sound department, and by that communication, that script supervisor has figured out that these takes are on camera roll A91 and on sound roll 13 and 15. It's very important to get these script notes, line script, and these detailed notes, this log, editor's log. It's important that I get this with the footage. It's less helpful if I get the footage and then I don't have these notes, because I need to know if I have questions about the footage. It's our responsibility as editors to get as much information as possible. If this is information that the script supervisor knows and the director knows and producers on set, if they're aware of this, I need to know this. It can't simply be that I get the footage and then the director calls me, the producer calls me and says, well, how do you know that shot I'm talking about? And then I say, well, I don't really know because I know I have a couple shots. They look pretty good. I can't be vague. I have to know exactly as much as possible what they know. Looking at the script supervisor's notes, do they do 5 takes or 6 takes? It can't be, I don't know, this is just what I got. That's something you can never say. You can say, well, this is all I got. You have to be able to, you and your crew are responsible to make sure that you get everything that was shot or recorded for the movie. And you have to have clarity about that. And this was true on a small movie, and it's certainly true on a big movie.